This is our January 3rd reorganizational meeting for the next year, 2023. 5 supervisors are present. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, next item is public comments. And the Township Board of Supervisors allocates a period of time on this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on any matter. Each person addressing the Board of Supervisors has to limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Anyone?
Judy Panassi, Brent Crescent Drive. I could not online find an agenda for tonight, and I know people that were thinking of coming to the meeting, and they said, "What's the agenda?" And I said, "I can't find one." So I don't know where it was, but it wasn't under anything it normally is under, and so we didn't know there was anything on except you guys doing a reorganization meeting. So the residents wouldn't have known to come to discuss anything that's on the agenda if it wasn't made public. It was just said it was a reorganization meeting. And I mean, if I missed it somewhere, I couldn't find it. And I'm not completely computer illiterate. I went, and another thing is on the meetings coming up, there's a big planning meeting that's really important for people that live up where we live with that development. You have to go into and look at the thing. It's not on the calendar. There are no meetings on the calendar. This was the only one. And again, there was nothing that said that there was an agenda that you guys were going to be discussing anything tonight. And I know people, like I said, that would have come, or if they would have had the opportunity to see what it was, may have wanted to come here, but everybody believed it was going to be a quick in and out. You guys were just going to reorganize. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
I have nothing to say right now, maybe after.
Okay, announcements. Next thing, and the announcement I have here, we held executive session on December 20th, December 30th concerning personnel and litigation. Okay, now we're into the Board of Supervisors Organization for 2023. And the first order of business is open nominations for chairperson. I move open nominations for chairperson. I need a second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Lukatich. At this time, I'll be seeking nominations for chairman for 2023.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I nominate Bracken Burns for chairman for 2023.
thank you. Mr. Burns, I just want to ask Mr. Burns, do you accept, Mr. Burns?
I'm willing, yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, if that's the case, then let's move a motion to close the nominations for chairperson. I made the motion. I need a second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Lukatich. All those in favor of appointing, well, we have to close it first. I'm sorry about that. All in favor of closing nomination, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 3, now we're at the stage where we're going to appoint the chairperson. Move a motion to appoint Bracken Burns as chairperson for the 2023 year. I need a second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Lukatich. All in favor of appointing Mr. Burns chairperson for the year 2023, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Burns, and good luck for a good year. Come on over here and take that middle seat. Thank you.
At least they do one.
I'll give you one. Okay, thanks.
The next order of business, without looking, is going to be the open nominations for vice chair. Is there such a motion?
That motion, Mr. Murphy, vice chair.
Thank you, Mr. Grego. Are there any other motions for vice chair? Is there a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that we close the nomination. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There's one nominee, Mr. Grego, or I'm sorry, Mr.
You're
Murphy.
giving my job already.
No, I was thinking that he made the motion.
Come on.
No. That wasn't what I was doing. Mr. Murphy has been nominated for vice chair. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We move on to item number 7, which is the setting of the meeting date. I would appreciate a motion to set the 2023 Board of Supervisors meeting for every fourth Tuesday, 7 p.m., with the exception of December 12th, and non-legislative meetings on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., those being February 14th, May 9th, August 8th, and December the 5th. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Is there
I'll second it.
moved and seconded? Discussion.
Still like to do it at 6 o'clock instead of 7. I tried that last year.
Didn't work then either.
It didn't work out.
But didn't we compromise 6:30?
I think it was good. You can keep them to, I don't care. Sometimes we don't get out there until 10:30.
All right. In the absence of any further discussion, there is a motion on the floor to set the meetings at 7 on the fourth Tuesday. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 8 is to establish Robert's Rules of Order as the parliamentary guideline. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Weber. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Lukatich. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 9, a motion would be in order to appoint Brandon Stanek to serve as Township Manager, Secretary, Treasurer, Pension Fund Administrator, and Zoning Officer for the year 2023. Is
I'll
there
make
such a
that
motion? Mr. Lukatich, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
And Mr. Second, and Mr. Grego seconds. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor?
Just out of
Sorry.
curiosity, like, why do you have to be the zoning officer? We have a zoning officer.
I don't understand.
Well, isn't Troy Lucas our zoning officer?
No, he's code enforcement.
Oh, he's code enforcement. Okay, thank you.
Further discussion?
What do you do? Building. You're building. The zoning's totally different than building.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Any other discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We move to item number 10, the appointment of a township solicitor, Labor Council, and Zoning Hearing Board solicitor. A motion to appoint Mako and Associates, Campbell, Durant, Beatty, Palumbo, and Miller, and Sweat Law offices respectively for the 2023 year is in order. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Weber. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Murphy. Discussion. Seeing no discussion, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We move to item number 11, which is the firefighter hiring committee. We need 2 supervisors to serve on that. Are there any nominees? Are there any volunteers?
I'll volunteer for that.
Mr. Grego volunteers, or is there a second volunteer? Rich, this is usually your
Yeah,
bailiwick.
we've always done it before.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Russ wants to do it, he can do it with you.
Well, we need to.
Okay. Russ, did you say you wanted to do
Yeah, I'll do it. All right,
it?
maybe.
Rich, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have the nomination of Mr. Grego and Mr. Lukatich. Are there any other nominees or volunteers? Seeing none, that will be treated as a motion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Similarly, we need two supervisors to serve as police officer hiring committee. And those nominations are open right about now.
I'm nominate myself, I did it before.
Mr. Murphy has been nominated.
I nominate Bob Weber.
Thank you.
Weber has been nominated. All right, we have two nominees. Are there other nominees? Seeing none, those in favor of the two nominees signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 13 is the establishment of a depository institution. A motion to designate Washington Financial as the township depository would be in order. Moved by Mr. Murphy. Is there a second?
Go ahead.
Mr. Weber seconds. Discussion. Seeing no discussion, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 14 is the appointment of an assistant secretary, treasurer, and zoning officer. And the motion would be to appoint Jim Sutter to serve in those capacities. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Lukatich, Mr. Murphy, discussion. Those in favor of the motion as made signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 15 is the appointment of an emergency management coordinator. A motion to appoint Jordan Kramer to serve in that capacity is in order.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Murphy,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Weber. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 16 would be a motion to appoint Keystone Collections as local service and delinquent tax collector for the year, and Laura Kiesling as real estate delinquent tax, mercantile delinquent tax, and per capita and delinquent and fire tax delinquent tax collector for the 2023 year. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Weber,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lukatich. Discussion.
Just out of curiosity, because I know they're different, but do we ever look at like either Kiesling doing them all or Keystone doing them all to save us cost, or is that she can't do them, or?
Brandon?
What with the third being the elected tax collector? No, because we've had the elected tax collector do this. So we have not looked into that further.
So I guess his question, are we required to have her do it, or is it just a convenience, or is it just a tradition, or?
Megan, are you aware of any underlying legal reason for that?
No, not that I can think of. There's no reason why.
Any other discussion, questions? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 17, certified public accountant to serve as auditor. A motion to appoint Cipher and Cipher CPAs to conduct the 2022 audit is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Weber, seconded by Mr. Murphy. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 18 is the appointment of a Township MS4 engineer. A motion to appoint KLH engineers to serve in that capacity as Township engineer and MS4 engineer, and also to appoint Harshman Group to serve as the alternate Township engineer is in order.
So moved.
Mr. Weber, Mr. Grego. Discussion.
And so Harshman was our MS4 engineer, going through this last permitting period over the last couple of years and how we've sort of coordinated stormwater and water development. It makes sense for us to use our engineer as a stormwater engineer.
Okay. Questions or comments? Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 19. Motion is in order to appoint an individual to serve on the vacancy board for a one-year term. It is noted that Mr. Bob Jones has submitted a letter of interest to continue in this capacity.
Move to appoint Bob Jones.
Second.
All right, Mr. Weber, Mr. Murphy have made the motion. Is there discussion? Those in favor of the motion as made signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 20, a motion to appoint an individual to serve on the zoning hearing board to a term which would expire December 31st, 2025. It should be noted that Mr. Art Sullivan has submitted a letter of interest to continue to serve in this capacity. Is there a motion?
Move to appoint Art Sullivan.
Moved by Mr. Weber,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Murphy. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 21 is the Washington County Tax Collection District Representative. A motion is in order to appoint Brandon Stanek to serve as the township's representative and Jim Sutter to serve as alternate in that capacity. Is there such a motion?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Lukatich,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Murphy. Discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 22 is the Washington County Sewage Council Representatives. The motion would be in order to appoint Brandon Stanek to serve as the township representative, with Jim Sutter serving as the alternate. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Lukatich, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Weber. Discussion.
Can we revamp that motion that one supervisor is also on that?
It's absolutely.
I think one of us should be on that, so that we go to those meetings and understand what's going on.
So you're saying a supervisor to replace,
Well, no, just with Brandon, that if he goes to the meetings or whatever, that one of us also goes to the meetings.
so a non-voting
Yeah,
Ex
he's
officio.
a non-voting too. I don't think you don't get a vote or anything on there, right? You're just.
For the Washington Sewage Company? Yeah.
Well, you're talking the one where I put a septic tank in. We're not talking Ouija. We're
Correct.
talking different. Okay.
For
we're
the
down to
on-lot system.
the on-lot systems. That's, yeah, all right.
You don't have a
No, I don't have-
Okay. Other discussion? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion as made signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We move to number 23, the PSATS Convention Delegate. For the benefit of our guest. That's the State Association of Township Supervisors. We need to appoint one individual to serve as the delegate and another individual to serve as the alternate.
I move to appoint Russ Grego as our township delegate.
All right. Is there a nomination for the alternate? Rich, any further nominations for either of those positions? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion as made signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. So ordered.
Right, make sure to certify all of you guys would be able to attend that.
We're not going this year.
Did I not mention that?
Okay.
Thank you. I think that's kind of,
You're not gonna go, it's just
So, as long as
We go. Mr. Chairman,
yes,
we just read that again and put the names in, okay, and then we can vote on
Gotcha.
that. Because it says certify all supervisors, even though some of us may not show it.
all right. So for clarification, and then we'll vote on it again, the motion is that Russ Grego will serve as our delegate and Rich Lukatich will serve as our alternate, and any supervisors duly elected are authorized to represent the township, as well as the township manager and assistant to the township manager as attendees. That's been clarified. Let's vote on it again. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. It still passes. All right. We are on 7A. 6A, I'm sorry. Old business. The first item on the agenda is a motion to approve a memorandum of agreement with the International Association of Firefighters regarding scheduling and captain's promotional testing. That is a tabled motion.
Motion to remove from the table.
Mr. Weber moves to remove it from the table. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Grego. Brandon, do you want to give us the background on that?
Sure. So prepared for the board's consideration this evening's memorandum between Township and the firefighters local 5006 to accomplish some of the following, or all of the following. Maintain the current 24/7 schedule using a 24, 48-hour work schedule, which is typically 24 hours on and then 48 hours off for firefighters. Currently, firefighters work a schedule comprised of a 10-hour and 14-hour days, averaging 42 hours per week. The new schedule was found to be more favorable work schedule, reduce overtime expenses, and maintain efficient operations for the 24/7 fire and EMS service. 2023 budget's been prepared to improve to account for the increase in cost. Currently, firefighters receive overtime compensation for any time worked over 53 hours per week. To comply with the Fair Labor Standards Act, firefighters will receive overtime compensation once 212 hours are worked during any 28-day work period or 2-pay period under the 24/48 schedule. Implementation of the merit-based captain promotional process. In the event that existing captains do not maintain rank following that process, they'll be restored to their previous rank of firefighter and compensated accordingly. Establishment of a daylight administrative captain position, which is governed by what we just reviewed with the merit-based process. They will work a daylight schedule, not necessarily a 24-hour schedule, but again, they'll average to 48 hours per week with overtime compensated in the same manner, 28-day work period. And the utilization of part-time firefighters for callbacks, regardless if full-time firefighters are available. So part-time callbacks typically are paid at a minimum of 2 hours at the current rate, consistent with the rate full-time firefighters are compensated for responding to callbacks.
Mr. Chairperson.
Yes.
We need to vote to remove.
To remove from the table. I was sitting here wondering whether I did that. Thank you. There is a motion on the floor to remove the item from the table. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. All right, discussion now is in order on the motion to approve.
You have to make
Make a
a,
motion.
you have to do the motion, I have to say,
Motion to
approve it, I'll second it. Now we can discuss it. Unless it was off.
Well,
You're gonna go that route, all right.
in the parliamentary world, this motion has already been made at a previous meeting. It was put on the table, take it off the table. It's now before us. Right, solicitor person, thank you. Yeah, whoever made the motion before it was tabled, that is extant. It's here. So we may now discuss it. Brandon has explained it to us. Do any of my colleagues have comments or questions?
I have a couple.
Okay.
One, I know we had talked about, and I didn't see it in the contract. Is there anything in this contract that if this, doesn't go well for the township, it can be changed back? Or once we say, okay with this, we're stuck with it?
I mean, via meetings with our labor attorney, we have that right to manage regardless. As far as schedule changes go, we have to provide 2 weeks, 14 days notice prior to that schedule change. But there's nothing explicitly in this MOU that states that.
But it's in the contract. It states that it has to be mutually agreed upon to change the schedule. So if the firefighters don't agree with it and we want to go to a different schedule, we can't change it. That is in the contract.
Right, we have the ability to manage that workforce. They do have to approve that schedule.
They have to approve the schedule.
But haven't they already approved this?
This one, correct?
Yes.
They have approved this one, but I'm saying if this one costs us more money, or we find out that this isn't, are we able to go back to what we had?
We could go back and negotiate with them. I don't think we
Right,
can.
But they're saying we can't. That's what we talked about, that.
And that brings up a great point. We negotiated a new agreement this year. This is going to be part of the contract. We should reopen negotiations to change that schedule. Because the schedule was a big sticking point when we were negotiating the new agreement with firefighters. They wanted a 10 and 14 schedule. We gave it to them. 1 month later, they didn't want the schedule anymore. And this is something that should have been, the contract should have been reopened, and we should have renegotiated that agreement. Because if you're looking at salary, healthcare benefits, this is part of the agreement. And once we do this, we're stuck with it. And it's going to cost us $80,000 to do this schedule change. We never looked at a different schedule. We just said, hey, here you go, guys. Here's your 24/7 schedule. We didn't look at any other schedules. Our labor council should have been brought in. Sean Warner should have been brought in. Mr. Burns was on the committee. I was on the committee. We never had a chance to talk to him to discuss this.
I think that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Brandon, did you clarify this for us? What he's speaking to? Did Sean look at this?
Yes, we work with Sean to come to this MOU.
You never talked to me about it. I was on the negotiating team. Bracken, did you have any point? Did you talk about this with anybody?
No.
The board was updated in the group setting on this.
I never had a chance to talk to Mr. Warner. And we should have all been brought in on this. This should have been renegotiated with the contract. This year, we're looking at our budget, how poor it is, how we're hurting for money. This is one of the big things that you need to look at. You need to look at things like this, and we didn't do it. We're failing the township. That's the way, I don't have anything else to say. That's where we're at, and I think we're failing the township.
Jordan, can you give any more clarification to this?
I can.
Can you help explain this better?
Sure. In response to that, the reason that we moved forward with this was due to direction from all 5 supervisors at multiple meetings that were documented in the minutes. in one of the meetings, I was asked why we hadn't moved forward with it yet. That's why we have reached out to Sean and started to speak about this. I understand this is an increased cost. To get that same level of service with hiring another firefighter, it cost us much more than $80,000. So we are getting 2,600 more hours of service per year with the same workforce without paying more overtime.
George, but we have 9 paid firemen and we have 6 part-timers now. I can do a schedule. They won't agree with it, but I can do a schedule and you'll have 24-hour coverage.
Absolutely, but
And they won't agree with it because, yes, your guys, they want to work here, but they want to work for other fire companies too. And that's why they want the days off.
no, our 9 firefighters that work here full-time want to work for Strabane Fire.
But they do. Are you telling me they don't work anyplace else?
We have 3 firefighters maybe that work part-time jobs, and that's common throughout the industry.
And that's why they want to be off. They want to work other places too. They want the right to do that. When we were doing contract negotiations, they told us that.
Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Ditch, and also Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy's initial question was, can this be reversed? Can this be taken back to the old? Now, Megan, let's be careful. If we would approve something like this, can we put the time limit on to see if it does work?
If that was what was agreed to between everybody, yes, but if not, that it is approved as informed here until 2024, unless until another point in time where the board and the firefighters decide to change that.
So it would be
by
good for a
agreement.
couple more years then, rather than
Yes.
what Mr. Murphy pointed at. But we give us, see Jordan, see how this goes. Yeah, I understand that. Sure. But could we put a year expiration on it, a time limit?
We worked diligently to get to this point, and the firefighting union gave up a lot for us to get to this point. I do not believe we can make that work.
Yeah,
And
this-
when we open up the contract again, we also put the township at the state to potentially use.
Yeah, my understanding is this agreement has already been negotiated between the chief on our behalf and the union. And so it isn't really debatable. It's a yes or no question. If we say yes, then we move forward. If we say no, we're back at square one. But we can't go in and toy with it because they've already voted on it in this form. So there's no tweaking to be done at this point in time.
MOU's only good for 1 year. It has to be rewritten
No.
every year.
No, once it's
No.
part of the contract, it's there until the contract.
It's like an addendum to the contract. It lasts the same
And
length.
you can't, once you put that in the contract, you can't change that. You're stuck with that schedule.
Well,
And you're stuck with an $80,000 bill, and I don't know where we're getting the money from.
Is there a time limit on this? I mean, I don't mean time that I was talking about. As far as getting this agreed, could this wait till later in the month and review this again? Or do you need this now?
We need this now. The schedule is set to take place early this month. All of this cost has been included in the budget that was approved to be able to pay for the schedule with the incorporation.
We have the money to cover it, but you're saying?
With the incorporation of the fire tax that was approved, that does cover the salary and benefits.
What's a full-time firefighter cost plus benefits for the year? Because they gave up one more full-time firefighter in place for this schedule, the way I'm understanding this.
That's correct.
Because we were supposed to hire.
The question is, what's the dollar value of a full-time
So on average,
firefighter
with
plus benefits?
Sure, on average with benefits, we've determined that to be around $100,000.
So
That does not,
we're saving $20,000 by going to this schedule.
and getting more hours than we would out of one firefighter. Additionally, we don't have capital costs like fire gear, radios, et cetera, to be able to get them going.
That would be an additional cost on top of we hired.
Correct. As a reminder, when this original fire plan was developed, the original goal was to have 12 full-time firefighters. Right now, we're operating with 9, and we're confident that we can go into 2023 with those 9, supplemented by the part-time staff.
So if we agree this, you're not gonna come back in 6 months and say, well, I need another fireman.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's part of our gentleman's agreement with the chief. Further discussion.
I haven't had an opportunity until like 2 hours ago to look at the schedule. I did ask for that a month ago. So do you have a schedule? Could we go over this real fast?
Yeah, you should have it.
Do you, like, I'm gonna go day one, it's got 24 K. K is captain,
No, Kate is Kelly Day.
is what?
Hey, Kelly Day, I'm gonna look up something. Yeah, sure.
Explain to me what a Kelly day is.
Sure, so during 1 week, and every 3 weeks, there would be a week where a firefighter would be scheduled 72 hours. So on that week, they do not work one of their shifts. They're not paid for it, anything of the sort, but it's so that still averages 48 hours.
Say that again, so you're telling me they work 72 hours instead of,
Yes.
oh, we're working 24.
So if you look at this
Day
week
one,
one,
go ahead.
and if you look at, well, example,
Right,
they work 24 hours, they're off on this day, and they work 24 hours a day, because that still equates to the 48-hour work week. If they were to work that 24 here, it would involve, it would equate to 72
all right,
hours.
so wait, keep that right there.
Sure.
So now we're gonna come down on that same day, so you got flex, so there's gonna be 4 people on this day, on Sunday, is that what you're telling me?
No, that Kelly Day is just denoting that they are not scheduled. They're on a Kelly Day, they're unpaid, they're not there. So there's 2 people there,
All right,
that captain, a firefighter, and a part-timer for 12 hours.
all right, so let's go to day 2, so there are 3 people on that day?
There are 3 people on a 24-hour shift, and there's a daylight captain.
Okay, let's go to the next day.
Sure.
There's only 2 people on?
Correct, and that's because we dropped down without that additional full-timer. We have 1 shift that's operating at 2 people instead of 3. And we're supplementing that with the daylight captain and with a part-time staff.
All right, so every time I look at this, when I only see 2, we only got 2 on, so I see that on that week, I see that 1, 2, 3 times. Why can't we work with 2 people all the time? As Rich said, we're hurting.
Sure. Our call volume is steadily increasing every single year. About 16% of the time this past year, while we were on a call, we were dispatched for an additional incident. This allows us to try to handle more calls, 3 firefighters as opposed to 2 on an actual incident such as an accident or a structure fire is extremely important and helpful, and it affects public safety substantially.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of days that there's only 2 on, and I didn't go count them up.
There are 2 on paper, but I think what the chief is saying is he's got people in the office that are available, he's available.
Right.
There's backup.
See at the bottom here that daylight firefighters here 7 to 5 every day as well.
From 7 AM to 5 PM, but on them other days, they're there 24 hours. So there is 3 there for 24.
Correct. Yeah. So
But there is not on the other days.
correct, but we're covering, like, for example, on Saturdays and Sundays, 12 hours of that with part-time
With
staff.
a part-time, I get it.
We're
But you
not-
still have, what on, well, the K keeps killing me, so that, there's nobody there.
We're not adding that overnight, both to save money and the fact that our call volume reduces slightly overnight. Additionally, our response time for mutual aid is a lot quicker overnight because there's less traffic.
And on the weekends, you have probably a better chance of getting volunteers out.
That's correct. So overnights and weekends, for the most part, you have better response out of volunteers.
That's been going on too.
Correct.
Other questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call vote. Brandon?
Mr. Grego.
Yes.
Mr. Lukatich.
No.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Weber.
Yes.
Chair Burns.
Yes. Motion carries 4-1. And the next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing 2023 Community Development Block Grant Funds. This is a tabled item. To discuss it, it needs to be removed from the table.
Move and remove.
Mr. Weber, Mr. Grego, there's a motion on the floor to remove the item from the table. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Discussion of the resolution is in order. Brandon Stanek, speak.
So we received correspondence in September from Washington, for the redevelopment authority of Washington County. Advises the township is eligible for the CDBG funding in 2023, the amount of $75,000. Federal CDBG funding is administered by the redevelopment authority every 4 years and may be used for a variety of items, including street and sidewalk improvements, flood and drainage facility, demolition and clearance of buildings, among others. In order to meet the national objective in using these federal funds, the project must benefit low to moderate income persons, prevent or eliminate slums of right, or improve accessibility to public facilities. And the township is not considered a low to moderate income community overall, funding is not readily available program. However, the use of the available funds to demolish or repair existing buildings that are dilapidated and contribute to the life of the community would seek to fulfill the objective. As such, building official Heckman has identified the following properties the township could consider pursuing for demolition. It's 433 Vance, 437 Vance, 157 Copper Kettle, 1265 Washington Road, and a small accessory structure on Munts Ridge Road. I think we have an address for that property. So according to Mr. Fox, the redevelopment authority, these 5 properties should be identified to qualify for the township's funding for the demolition of buildings. However, this may change in the event other properties are identified at a later time or circumstances change with these. Also, using the funding for demolition of buildings will require the township to undergo formal condemnation procedures at a later time.
Thank you. Mr. Heckman is here for questions, which are in order at this point in time. Are there any questions?
Yeah, how long have these been on your radar? Like, why, this was, there again, I walk in tonight and I get these. How long have they been on your radar?
We've known about it.
Have we ever sent them letters or they're
There
just,
was two, yeah.
so 2 have sent letters, like, has it been
One,
a
I
year?
think one we started,
Or you just started?
the
or-
condemnation for the one on Vance Station was just done this summer. And the one up here on Months, we can't find, we don't know who owns the property. There's a conflict of property ownership.
Hey, Scott, like, the property that's on Copper Kettle, is that EQT consultant?
As consultants.
Well, are they responsible, would they be responsible for ripping down that structure or?
So why is that? That's one of my questions, like, why aren't the homeowners responsible for tearing down these? If they don't, then I get it, we have to do it. But there again, it's probably a 2-year or 3-year process before, and will we still, the block grant money still be good in that amount of time?
That's what I understand, yes.
My understanding from doing it previously in other townships as well, that it is available. There is a time period for which it does have to be used, but I don't believe it has to be used in 2023 necessarily, but you do have to start the process.
As long as you start-
Ultimately, through the process, at the end of the process, we would need the property owners for the cost of that. We can't. But if you're gonna have a lot of, you're gonna do it through a grant, then you're. But that's to prevent blight.
Do you know about Bill Campbell property? You know about that, Scott? Like, why did it take so long for him?
He wouldn't buy.
Because he got hit with like $18,000 in fines. And now he's got equipment down there for over 2 weeks, ripping everything down. So it actually takes that long, because that's been going on for how many years? 2 years?
19.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
it is
specific
a-
to that case.
I mean,
That is specific to that case.
we have to have condemnation hearings and have a
Right.
public hearing on it and give them the proper notice. Like, we have to first identify, at least with all of them, making sure we do a title search to make sure we know who the proper owners are, give the proper owners proper notice. We'll have public hearings on that. And then once public hearings happen, we'll issue findings and recommendations, present those to the board. And if those are accepted, then that would have to go to the redevelopment authority. They would need those documents in order to be able to actually prepare the work and do the work, and then they would bid out the project. Redevelopment authority would take care of doing that.
As of now, Mr. Fox just said,
And,
he needs just properties to program the money for.
and typically, he does in the past, we've done them in other townships, and they usually want 5 or 6 different properties. It just makes it more economical for them to be able to hire and bid out the project. It's just cheaper for them to do it that way.
I'm a little confused about the property owner. So they've been delinquent here, and we've warned them and implored them and did our due diligence. And so they haven't done anything, so we're now gonna take federal money, do it for them, and that just leaves them off the hook. Because somebody talked about them, we're gonna roll back and get the money from them, well, then it sounds like a double dip. So what am I missing? Megan?
You're not. That's,
That's the
that's
process.
the process.
Is there not, and I'm not opposed to this idea, but is there not a way of forcing somebody to do what the rest of the citizens in the community do, maintain their property? I mean, I know you send the
Yes,
fines and this and that. I mean, do they refuse to pay it? Don't you go to a magistrate? And don't they just keep turning the heat up?
Then you can lean their
Then
house,
you can
correct?
lien the property.
And then you
Right.
end up with a property if they never pay it.
They just pay to have it.
Or- Then you paid it for it now.
With the grant.
With the grant, yeah.
That I get. That I get.
Better, absolutely.
But I think what we need to do is approve this, but then I also think we need to move in that direction. I don't think we want, all right, so you're in agreement, everybody understand that, so we're not taking the homeowner off the hook. This is a backup if the heat doesn't produce the desired results. All right, further discussion.
I would still like to discuss further on, and
Sure.
I had brought this up before about possibly, and I don't know if it's, you'd have to ask Mr. Fox, I'd call him tomorrow and find out, but I want to redo the bathrooms at Fire Hall #1.
You mean
Well, we don't
whether
know.
that's eligible?
Right, whether that would be eligible or not.
You have to ask Mr. Fox. I don't know that it would. but-
Yeah, the problem is, this is all targeted to low income,
Yes.
blight, things like that. So unless you're gonna insult the firemen by saying their fire hall's
No,
blighted.
it's that, it's pancake area is blighted. It's blighted. That's.
Oh, okay.
Where like you could put handicap playground in at Streeter or.
No, I think it's a good
Handicap,
question.
It has to
Those are
be,
public facilities.
but those are
though.
public
Right.
facilities. So, but they're.
So
gonna
they're not
negotiate.
eligible?
I'll give
No,
them
I'm saying
my,
public facilities are.
Oh, okay.
I'll
They
give them the
are.
$6,000 that I made up here and they could deed me the restrooms at #1 and they could do it. There's creative ways around the. If I'm just throwing that out there, I mean, I'm trying to help them.
No, I think it's a
That would be
valid
good idea.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think we can approve this tonight
That's fine.
and still
Change it, I guess, yeah.
change it next year's application, whatever. But I think your idea is a good one, but I don't think it mitigates against.
But I'd like to know how long like this can stretch out, because I know doing all this, like to tear down a house takes quite a while. It's something that doesn't happen overnight.
No, it's gonna take a while. I mean.
When we say a while, like I'm just thinking 2 years, am I
Oh,
wrong? Is it
no,
a
I don't
year?
think it was, no.
You don't think
it
it'd
wouldn't
take
take that long.
a
No,
year?
we need to get the, make sure we do the title search. That's probably one of the longest things it probably takes to get the title search done and then properly notify them. And then once we properly notify them, my suggestion would be to make sure that we have notice for everybody, conduct a public hearing, basically one day for all of the properties so that we can do that in one fell swoop and then.
Who's paying for the title search and all those? public-
Well, ultimately, that then gets
Would it
part of
come
the
out of
lien.
that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So then we'll do that, and then when we have the properties approved, then that has to go to redevelopment authority to then administer those funds, and they will do the bidding and stuff for that particular work, so I mean, at least 6 to 8 months, if not more.
Tired. Got it.
Further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Under new business, we have item 7A, a resolution setting the township manager's salary for the 2023 calendar year. You have it before you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, and for the record, the salary is $111,350 for the calendar year 2023. It has been duly moved and seconded. Discussion.
I have a question. Have we done a performance review yet? How are we setting a salary without first doing a performance review?
my knowledge, we haven't, have
No, we
we?
have not.
Can we schedule it? No.
I think we should do that first. Before we,
Well, we're into 2023. If we don't establish a salary, how do we pay the gentleman as we move forward?
Mr. Chairperson,
Yes,
there
sir.
is no salary increase this year. That's one point.
No, I understand that.
Evaluation we haven't done, no, but there is no increase in salary.
I understand that. What I'm saying is I think we need it to be on the record that this is the guy's salary or we can't cut a check.
well, then maybe next year we should start doing performance reviews in November.
Well, let's do this. Following this motion, why don't you make a motion to establish a time frame for performance reviews for the coming year? We've dropped the ball this year, but I think we
Yeah.
can pick it up.
Even though I know Brandon has talked about not taking an increase in the salary, that is beside the point. It doesn't matter. You're doing an increase, and staying the same, or you're decreasing somebody's salary. You gotta do the performance review first.
Point made. Other discussion? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
No.
same sign.
No.
So noted, Mr. Murphy voted no, so it's 4-1. The motion passes. Now, when we get done with what's on the agenda, if you want to make that motion, it would be in order at that time. We're going to move on to agenda item 7B, which is a motion extending an employment agreement with Jordan Kramer as Fire Chief and Emergency Management Coordinator. Brandon?
So we have an employment agreement with Chief Kramer, determined that this 2023 Reorganization Meeting. So we're holding an annual evaluation in April 2023. The chief would be eligible for a salary adjustment in the second quarter of that agreement. At this time, we're just asking the board to consider a 1-year extension of the current agreement.
Thank you. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Weber, is there a second? Mr. Grego? Discussion.
I'll make the same point. We should have a performance review done before we talk about salary.
So noted.
Even though this is a contract.
So noted. Other discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We are on item number 7C. A motion would be in order to approve a request from Pannoni Associates on behalf of TWAS Properties, Tidal Wave Auto Spa, for the township to serve as applicant for a PennDOT highway occupancy permit on Washington Road.
Chief, is there a gentleman on the Zoom? Possibly?
Yes, this is Jay Goldstein with Pannoni. I'm the lead traffic engineer in our Pittsburgh office. As stated earlier, we are representing our client, TWAS Properties LLC, for the proposed development along SR 19 in South Strabane Township, Washington County. The PennDOT HOP for the driveway is already under review. As part of the PennDOT comments, they are requesting a drainage permit be submitted for an existing pipe connection in the state right-of-way. The pipe runs back to our client's property, and the township must be the applicant in this regard.
Thank you. A motion is in order.
So moved.
Mr. Weber, Mr. Grego, discussion.
As long as it doesn't cost the township anything, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think it's a
Right,
legal
we'll be waiting
formality.
For the time to be spent with this. Yeah.
Further discussion. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Now, Rich, Mr. Lukatich, motion would be in order if you desire.
I'd like to make a motion
You're gonna
that,
amend the agenda if you're gonna do that. You have to make a motion to amend the agenda.
okay, motion to amend the
Is there a second? Second. Those in favor of amending the agenda to permit Mr. Lukatich to make a motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Proceed.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we do performance reviews possibly in November or December of the year before we set salaries for non-union personnel.
There's a second to the motion.
Second.
There has to be a public comment period. Anybody in the public have a comment?
Hold on, just relax. So we have a motion and it has been seconded. Is there discussion or public comment for that matter? Come along.
Would this cover everybody, or like, so would it cover people like the roadmaster, Brandon, Drew, everybody? Is that what it's?
Anybody that's non-everybody.
So anybody that's non-union would do performance reviews. I also have a question as to do they all get paid a salary or do they also get overtime?
No.
So none of the management gets overtime?
Correct.
Okay, so you're saying, so anybody that's in position, they all get straight salary, because that has not been that in the past, so unless you change something. Russ, do you get salary?
I'm hourly.
You're- So Russ, so you're hourly, why isn't Russ salary like everybody else?
Scott Heckman, you're hourly.
That might be something else you guys wanna look at as to what the overtime hours are, because that would save you money right there. But if you've got management and across the board should be, because usually if you're management, you do not get overtime. And you wanna look at how they're paid their overtime, because each of your departments is gonna be different as well. And so that's something you might wanna look into, and that could save you a boatload of money. So that's, and you may wanna look at it, Rich, maybe even earlier than December, November, just because with holidays and that, you might wanna schedule that earlier, like maybe in September. It might help you out a little bit more and give you time for everything. I just know, working for the government, that's how our schedule runs a little different. Our bosses have to have everything by October, and everything is done like way ahead of the holiday, so there's no,
Maybe, when do we start working on the budget?
October.
About October. We're probably gonna start earlier this year.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the same time we do performance reviews.
Other public comment? Seeing none, any comment from my colleagues? All right, there,
About grant money,
pardon me,
about grant money.
what about it?
Are you able to donate land if it's not used by grant money?
With all due respect, we'll get you an answer to your question, but it has nothing to do with the subject at hand.
No, not at hand, but you asked this question.
No, I meant questions regarding this item because it wasn't on the agenda, but feel free to pose that question to Brandon or at the next meeting, et cetera. Discussion from my colleagues.
The clarification, since the roadmaster is an elected, or public works director is an elected official, his salary is done by them. His wage is done by them.
right. But that doesn't matter, that has nothing to do with overtime.
No, I'm clarifying that.
Right, his wages are right, but still. They would have to you guys would have to make the difference of it no longer being an overtime job, but a salary job.
Further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Motion to adjourn is in order. Mr. Weber, Mr. Lukatich. So ordered. Don't see any opposition anywhere.
You're aware that, Carol no longer lives in South Florida. Okay. that's good. Okay.
Bless you.
Around
Chip, maybe.